Hello, welcome to the Introduction to Organic Chemistry lecture series. This is the acid and bases and part 2. So in this lecture series, we will study about the Bronsted-Lowry and acid and bases. So according to Bronsted-Lowry and acid bases, in 1923, the Danish chemist Johan Bronsted and English chemist Thomas Lowry, they have given their definition about the acid, which the acid are those compounds or those substances which are proton donor, means they can donate the proton, and a base is a proton acceptor. So this definition is enlarged version of the Arrhenius acid bases. So acid bases reaction is a proton transfer reaction. In this case, we will study mostly proton transfer. And when we do proton transfer, the leftover acid bases portion is called conjugate acid base. So they form a conjugate acid base pair, and their definition is any pair of a molecule or ion, those can be interconverted by transfer of proton. So when an acid transfer a proton to a base, the acid is converted to conjugate base. This is very important. Acid transfer the proton to the base and acid become conjugate base. Base accept a proton and the base is converted to conjugate acid. So acid become conjugate base and base become conjugate acid after proton transfer. For an example, HCl hydrogen chloride. This is a strong acid we have seen in the part 1, which when it dissolves in aqueous solution, AQ means aqueous solution, in water, then it dissociate 100%. So this arrow, it shows 100% dissociation into chloride ion and water molecule. So here you can see HCl is an acid. It is a proton donor. So acid is a proton donor. Proton donor. And this water will behave as a base because it is accepting proton. So it is a proton acceptor. Proton acceptor. And once acid donate its proton, it become conjugate. This is called conjugate base of HCl, acid. And this water accept proton, so it become conjugate base of water. Right, so this is the way we have to define. And here we have seen an example in the water. So let's talk about the next, Bronsted-Lowry acid bases without water, how they work without water. And when we talk about the without water, usually we are taking here an example for the weak acid and weak base, and where they exist in the equilibrium. And you remember this sign forward reaction, this is the sign for backward reaction. So this is the equilibrium exists between the forward and backward reaction. When acetic acid react with ammonia, acetic acid is or vinegar is a weak acid, react with ammonia, it form acetate ion and ammonium ion. So how this reaction happen? Here you can see this work as a proton donor. Proton donor. according to Bronsted-Lowry base, and this become proton acceptor. Proton acceptor. And this acetane ion is called conjugate base of acid, of acetic acid, this one. And this is called conjugate acid of ammonia. So let's see how this proton transfer is happening here. So we have to draw a Lewis dot structure of acetic acid, HCS3, double bond O, then O, oxygen, then hydrogen ion, then hydrogen. And we have to leave the here lone pair of electrons. And in case of ammonia, we have lone pair of electron here, and 3 hydrogens are connected to single bonds. What will happen? We have to write here equilibrium sign, and then now we'll change the pen sign color, and then you can see this lone pair of electron from ammonia will take the proton from the acid. Actually, I have to write here. It is given to the proton. And then these bond or electron pair go back to the oxygen. In this way, a new species will form, which is called the S3C COO minus acetate ion, and plus, and actually we can draw the exactly same way. H3C carbon double bond oxygen. Here there is no change in the electronic structure. They all remain same. And in case of this oxygen, it will get negative ion because it accepts it is donating a proton. And in case of ammonia, ammonia gets a positive charge because let's circle this proton, which is transferring from acetic acid to ammonia, and these hydrogens are from ammonia itself, and it becomes positive ion. So this ammonium ion is called the conjugate acid of ammonia, right? And then acetate ion become a conjugate base. So conjugate base of acetic acid. So this is the example in the without water, and these are the few more example for practice. You can practice it in water. Bronsted-Lowry bases, acid bases in the water, and try to find out how they will make equilibrium and what will be the conjugate base, what would be conjugate acid. And this will be Bronsted-Lowry conjugate acid base without water, So there is no water involved, and you have to draw the same kind of lone pair electron transfer, and then proton will be donated from acid to bases, like this one. So next video we'll talk about how to find out the equilibrium, when the equilibrium will shift in which direction.